has been 3 years since I was last in the Victorian High Country, and I must admit I forgot a little how good it is. In this series I discover an issue with my cruiser and nearly pull the plug on the trip. We search for underground waterfalls, we spent a stormy wet night on top of Mount Sunday, we drive one of the supposedly hardest treks in the Victorian High Country and it doesn't end without damage. We drive steep hills and tight switchbacks where every mistake could have fatal consequences. We explore amazing river waterholes, and I find out what happens if 2 eagles attack a $3,500 drone. So strap yourself in for the ride. Yeah guys, finally on the road again. I'm on the way to the Victorian High Country. However, I will have a stopover in Yass and visiting an old friend there. And then tomorrow I'm going to catch up with Stephen from the Long Range Desert Group in Jameson, and 1 week of high country in front of us. I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my most favorite four-wheel drive destinations. Still on the way towards Joachim, and the weather has changed a bit. That's some serious hail coming down here and some pretty heavy gusts of wind. That was some crazy weather. I mean, that was bad. On the highway people stopped down to 30 kilometers. Just the big trucks went past flying. So on my way now to Grannies flat. I asked Stephen from the Long Range Desert Group whether he wants to plan the itinerary for the trip, simply because he is a local here. He's going in the high country for, I don't know, 40 years or so, probably a bit longer. I just arrived here at Grannies flat. Don't think I've been here before. Bridle River. I think that's where I'm gonna have a bath a bit later. Got ourselves a good spot here. Another car just pulled in when I was checking it out, wanted to park here, so just managed to secure that. It's the last spot. Steve is still a few hours away. Stephen arrived.
The ice cream that you had, Stephen?
Only one, but I accomplished first day already. It's moving higher. This is here.
There's wind.
Already. I determined to stay clean as a whistle on this trip and asked Stephen to factor in a few swims each day if possible. I continue to keep using the ferro rod and I'm getting pretty good with it, so I think I may have to apply for the next season of Survivor. 5 o'clock or so, it got a little bit fresh on the feet.
Yeah.
And on the side, I couldn't sleep on the side, then I had to go on the back. Yeah, I'm always looking for little things to improve my traveling. And I came across these toothpaste tablets. Yeah, I thought that lasts longer, they can't spill and squeeze out in the car. So I ordered them online and I think that's actually pretty cool. Tiny bit of spit in the mouth. Chew it a little. Bit of lot of foam, as you can see. I'll do a short one now for the video purposes. But yeah, pretty good. That's my water conserving technique for the desert. You may find it gross, but works quite well. And a little bit of water like this now I use more as river water. Works quite well. Just came back from Jameson, caught up with our other 2 cars, which is Adrian, Wayne and Rod. And yeah, first little creek crossing and now we're up in the mountains. Beautiful weather. Yeah, the 2 other cars seem to be lovely people. Looking forward to it. And we're already here. It's getting steep. We're driving on Mitchell's track now. Yeah, my tire pressure's 19 in the rear, 17 in the front, center diff in, and that's it. My diff locks I have switched on a single switch, so I can flick them and they're primed, so if need to be, I don't think so, but I can switch them on both front and rear with one go, because especially on steep tracks like this here, there's nothing too challenging in that regards, no rock steps. I like to have both lockers working at the same time. ExplorOz, I didn't switch the iPad actually off. I just put the screen off of the iPad overnight. It worked last night. So in the morning, I just switched the screen back on and both apps were open. So ExplorOz were open, memory maps were open. So I usually switch between both maps in the morning before I drive as my routine to make sure everything is working. And ExplorOz just has a grey screen. Okay, odd, I had that before. And only, actually I couldn't get it working again until I had internet. But anyway, so we went back into Jameson to pick the rest up. I restarted ExplorOz. Wouldn't do it. Then I restarted the whole iPad, thought okay, that should do it, but still grey screen of that. Then we were in Jameson, so I had reception, put ExplorOz up, let it sit there for a little bit and thought maybe, you know, it needs reception for something, which it shouldn't really, because I use downloaded maps, the EOTopo downloaded maps, not the online maps. But I have not managed to get ExplorOz back working. But to be honest, that is, in my book, that's a safety concern. If someone relies only on one mapping application, which he really should be able to, and has only one iPad, for example, yeah, I would be stuffed if I only had ExplorOz. And by the way, memory maps or any other mapping app works without an issue. It's just ExplorOz which has this grey screen and nothing else. Oh, that's steep here.
Oh, yeah. Okay guys, coming up to the Slate mine on Mitchell's track. was a commercially operating slate mine, quite a big operation. This will be our lunch spot, and stretch the legs, have a look around and enjoy the view. It is magnificent on this clear day.
Most of the period buildings in Melbourne City have slate tiles mined and cut here. A few hours in, ExplorOz still hasn't come back. I can restart it. I restarted the iPad multiple times, but the only way I guess I could delete and re-download, but I don't have enough reception here. I'm in the high country, so that's it. So we're coming now to the supposedly very steep, rough section. In a second, let's see how that is. Yeah, obviously the tracks can change, so what is marked here on that map as difficult. And there's actually tight turn, no switchback for me, so I could just get around.
Looks like the track's been nicely graded recently.
My front drive shaft makes some funny noise. First gear, if I use the engine braking going downhill, I feel it. Yeah, through the panel. Not crazy, but I feel the vibration, and you hear it. Yeah. It is beautiful. Mind you, that's a nice little pool I see myself already lying in.
Well, I think you'll have to push me out the road, Stephen.
At the start of the trip, Wayne took 10 to 15 minutes to submerge himself in the freezing cold icy water. However, after a few pep talks with him, he turned into a cold water animal and even got me to go swimming early in the morning. From Mitchell's Flat is a beautiful walk along the creek bed, which requires some boulder hopping, and it leads you to an underground waterfall and pool. If you should ever camp at Mitchell Flat, I think it's worthwhile the walk. Very nice. Love it. There's some easy climbing and rock hopping involved once you follow the river into the gorge. That is a swimming hole. That is a swimming hole here. Yeah. How are we going to get in? I think that is underground waterfall. Where'd you go?
Not this way.
No?
No. I've gone around that way.
You reckon?
Yeah, it does look a little bit of a drop off over there. Track around there.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephen, that looks like how we can get down the water.
See him?
And maybe just down here.
Okay.
Sliding down on their bums. You right to get back up there?
Oh. Pick you up next trip.
You might walk down there somewhere.
When Robert Wren and Thomas Lakeland discovered gold in Mitchell's Flat in the 1860s, the story begins. During the second year of the gold rush at Walhalla, the claim was sold to Fred Mitchell, who named the creek after himself and used it to store abandoned mining equipment after prospecting for 2 years. The search for gold had an end by 1881, and William Hoskins of Jameson leased a 1,000-acre area at Mitchell's Flat for agricultural purposes. After clearing and fencing off the land, the Hoskins family built stockyards, sheds and orchards, and an avenue of English trees. The Hoskins were renowned for their exceptional hospitality, and many outings were held at the homestead. By 1929, the Hoskins relinquished their lease and the homestead was abandoned in 1936. Unfortunately, a few careless campers destroyed this historic homestead by fire in 1989, so all traces of it have disappeared now. This is the end of episode 1 of our epic Victorian High Country adventure. Make sure you tune in for episode 2, where I have to decide whether I pull the plug with my Landcruiser or not. Guys, good morning. Second night or first real night, but I think I have to pull the plug. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, maybe head over to Patreon or to buy me a coffee, and with the equivalent of a cup of coffee or 2 per month, you can really help me creating these videos for you. I hope to see you along the tracks.